Bro!
Tony. And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the end. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshack if you want to call me by my in-game name. And today we're going to be doing another deck testing of the N'Zoth Priest. This is a deck, I believe this is the last rendition before we make the deck guide, maybe with just one or two more changes. But for the most part, I think the deck is running really, really nice right now. I've actually been playing the shit out of N'Zoth Priest, as I found the deck to be really fun in comparison to some of the other decks. Normally, I just play not strictly Warrior, but Warrior is, you know, where I navigate around the most. Maybe Warrior, like Mage, Warlock, Druid, and for some reason, Priest has been doing it for me. So I'm glad to see another class has piqued my interest. So, with that, if some of you are unfamiliar with the way we do our deck testing videos or new to the inn, welcome. We play probably around 45-ish minutes. We'll talk about the deck. I'll explain why I do what I do for the most part, and then if any changes need to be done, we'll do that. And then also the deck list on the side, let me just make this a note. I know you guys laugh at me, all the inmates that have been here a while, but for the most part, the deck list on the side is going to be the most updated version of this deck. If there's any changes, you're like, oh, you played a card and it's not in the deck list, or it's in the deck list, blah, blah, blah. Follow the deck list on the side of the screen. Do not yell at me that they do not match. They do not match because changes have been made. We don't keep this, we don't keep this, we don't keep this, we keep that. Unless he's running aggro, and in which we probably should have kept the Excavated Evil, but we're going to make the assumption he's going to be running either Ramp or Cthulhu Druid, as aggro doesn't seem to be that popular. Alright, so he is running, Raven Idol is a very popular card in like this like token Druid deck that people have been playing, and Elise was playing the deck for a little bit over the past weekend, so I'm assuming, based on what we've seen, that actually might be the deck that this guy is playing. I'm actually going to turn up the volume here because it's kind of hard to hear the game, so there we go. Yes, so it looks like he is actually playing that rendition of the deck that runs the sort of token rush mid-range kind of thing. And wow, these are some shitty picks. Wow. These are horrible. I don't think I've had worse picks out of our curator before. Normally at least gives you one decent death rattle, but this is shit. I mean, what if we coin and bring out the 1/1? Then he just swings into this, kills the 1/1. If we get the wobbling runts, it does make trades with a bunch of little shit. And then the Skeletal Knight, I guess it makes trade with big shit, but he doesn't really have any big shit. But I'd rather almost have Skeletal Knight than any of the other garbage cards we've had. We get Ashlow Coin and then Power Ward Shield, because if he wants to attack, then it'll be at 1 HP. So I think this does seem silly, right? But it's actually the right play, because let's say he doesn't, he's going to have to use this passive to kill this Curator. And if he doesn't, we can put an attack into it, heal it, and then we'll actually be able to kill the Panther. This is a weird play I did against a Tempo Mage the other day. See, he's going to actually have to passive here, and he floats 1 mana, unless he just has like a Living Roots or something like that, so he can make the 1/1 Groots, which is not okay, but I would say this is better than him, you know, being able to play a creature, because he's going to want to kill that. Unfortunately, this is a pretty slow start, can't really do much. I'm assuming his turn 4 is going to be like maybe a Violet Teacher or something like that, and as soon as the Violet Teacher comes down, bad shit happens, so okay, 3/1. Alright, essentially we're looking for the Circle of Healing, because when we play the Shade, unfortunately, he's just going to trade into it with his 3/1. I would have to say this is probably one of the least favorable starts we could have, as we did draw N'Zoth, double Entomb, you know, Flash Heal, our double Power Word Shield with, you know, not that many creatures, so this is gonna be a rough game, but I'll do my best, guys. Like a Circle of Healing here would have been super clutch, but we didn't have that. We could also go with the Soul Priest and then Flash Heal down the 5/4, but then our Soul Priest is basically going to die to these two creatures here. But I really don't see another play unless we want to Shade and then Power Ward Shield the Shade, but then it just dies to 2 of these creatures. So but if we draw Circle of Healing, it is like, I think this is a little bit better just for now. We need to draw that Circle of Healing. Like, it is essential for us to be able to clear the field with the Soul Priest. I found that, like, let's say we do get a good trade with the 5/4 and we kill it off. As soon as this dies, and if we don't draw Excavated Evil, it's basically all our field clear is gone. But if we can get the Soul Priest to kill up to 3 or 4 cards, I mean, that's just a huge swing on the board state. So I found using her earlier, even though this did look like a really solid play, and it does stop a tidbit of damage, I mean, if we just can't follow her up with a Circle of Healing and we don't draw the field clear, we'll lose a turn or 2 later. Especially, it sucks if we don't draw the Circle of Healing. So you just have to play this. This is a very patient deck. Like, if you just don't draw the cards you need and your opponent draws all the cards, it's just bad luck at that point. I mean, his start so far has been fairly strong, and ours has been pretty weak, especially the card we got out of the Death Rattle. Normally, you get a pretty fair card. It actually might even be able to kill us now. I wouldn't be surprised. This deck is very aggressive and plays a very value-oriented game. It's also very hard, as you've noticed. He's gone face every single turn. So I think that's game. So what is that, 12, 17, 21? Yep, that's game. So this is like the new Brokeback Druid, basically. So, I mean, theoretically, we could have Soul Priest passive, and we would have taken, what, 18 damage that turn, and I guess she would have absorbed it. So, theoretically, maybe the other play was good, but again, it's easy to say what you could have done after the fact. We also only needed one more game, too, because we were on a win streak, and then we would have been to, I believe, what, rank 5? No, we needed that one win and then a win after that to be, and then we would have been 2 stars into 5. That'd have been cool. But it's good either way. We've learned. Now we draw double Excavated Evil. It's one of those things. So we're actually going to get rid of everything here. We're looking for Circle of Healing, Soul Priest. You really don't need to keep Excavated Evil in our opening hand. We also have Shadow Ward Horror, which seems kind of silly, right? But because mages and, well, not particularly, it's there for Zoolock, basically. Zoolock is like 20% a ladder, at least, just that deck. But it also works really well against tempo mages, which some guy posted, like, whatever is being posted on Reddit or like a streamer is playing is the deck that everybody else plays, because no one can fucking build decks or have any innovation for themselves, which is totally understandable. Half the world's retarded, but not you guys, of course. But anyway, the rest of the ladder, they follow whatever everybody else is playing. So if they're going to all play, Zoo and this Tempo Mage deck that they ran, and most of the cards in the Tempo Mage, such as the Mirror Entities and the Flame Waker and Mana Worm and cards like that, they all just die to this Shadow Ward Horror. It works really well against most aggro decks. Like, even, look, this Argus Squire is prone to the Shadow Ward Horror. Of course, we're not going to use it now, but I found it actually comes in really handy. And then, like, let's say you play against a Warrior and the Shadow Ward Horror is in your deck. It's really not too bad because you have Elise, right? So as long as you can just hold on to it, it actually will become a legendary later on in the game. Just like cards like Flash Heal and maybe your Coin if you hold on to it long enough. So, and of course in this matchup we're going to Coin early. But like, let's say this was a Control Warrior. I probably would hold on to Coin as long as possible because this is just another legendary you can get out of Elise. Because again, she turns all cards in your deck and in your hand into legendaries, including the Coin. So keep that in mind. Oh my god, I forgot to mute the mic. So now it's gonna, okay, so I just muted it there, so it's gonna be better. But for a little bit, you're gonna hear a humming noise, and that shit's gonna be annoying, but you probably didn't even notice the humming noise until I just mentioned something. So I really don't feel that bad. So we're just gonna heal our face. We could, yeah. So let's like right here, like let's say he plays a totem, then we could just like coin into Power Ward Horror, and it would just destroy his entire board. But the problem is he could play Spirits, and then the Spirits would kill the 2/2/3s, the 1/1, and it would not kill the Tunnel Trog because the Tunnel Trog would get buffed. So it's actually going to be 2/3 now, and this is a 1/1. So the question is, do we go off and do we coin the Horror? Well, or we could Shadow Word Pain this. Yeah, I think we Shadow Word Pain this, and we don't do anything else. And right now he's just going to hopefully, if he uses Feral Spirits, totally okay. If he uses a Totem, that's totally okay. But the Totem Golem needs to, that's one of the bigger creatures that can die to Shadow Word Pain. And if you're playing against a Warrior, a Warrior in a Mage, make sure you save your Shadow Word Pains for the 4-drop 2/4, a Berserker, Or for mages, you want to use it on the Flame Waker. You want to use it on the Water Elemental. Mainly the Water Elemental, though, because you can actually take the Flame Waker with your Cabal Shadow Priest. You can't actually take the Cabal Shadow Priest with the Shadow Word Pain. Or you can't kill... You know what I mean. You can't take the Water Elemental. So he's going to be a little upset here when we decide we want to clear his board with a card he's probably never seen before. And again, Priest plays very passive. He has 5 cards to our 8 going on next turn, so we're up 3 cards in the hand. I mean, given if he plays like Mana Tide or something, we can't necessarily deal with it right away unless we like Soul Priest Flash Heal it. But that doesn't feel too good. So hopefully he just like kind of plays a little bit slow here, and we'll probably just throw out the Shade, maybe even the Darkshire Alchemist to heal ourselves. Put a 4/5 on the board instead of the 4/3, because the 4/3 can die to like a Lightning Bolt and or like a Totem, depending on if it has Flame Tongue. Dies to a Rock Biter, but this is a little bit harder for him. He's going to have to use like a Lava Burst to get rid of the Alchemist, but I doubt he's going to be playing Lava Burst because it doesn't seem to be that popular right now. Okay. It's perfectly okay. Thing from below, 5/5. So we actually, I'm thinking about Soul Priesting Flash Healing that. That's a huge tempo play. We have Entomb, so if he plays that really big, yeah, I like it a lot. So again, we do the Circle of Healing, as what I told you last game to hold on to this, depending on the situation, you know. This guy has 5 cards in hand, nothing really on board, and we have the ability to follow it up with the Darkshire Alchemist, and we have Entomb in our hand if he plays like the 7/7. So we have like the, and we know Warlock, or Shamans don't have the ability to build up a huge board like Warlocks with the Googly-Eyed Octopops card, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the ritual card that summons a 1/1 for every mana crystal you spend. Like, in that case, field control is very important. But in like the Shaman's case, if we can just beat them on the board, there's not much they can do unless, like, let's say they Lightning Storm or something. So this is what we expected. It's the 7/7. It's why we played our Soul Priest last turn, because if not, we would have held her. Wow, we've got the Shadow Word Death too. So I think about deathing this, because the death only works on certain creatures, as Entomb works on basically whatever we want. And I really don't mind using the coin here to summon the Shade. Okay, so let's say we didn't have the Entomb and we didn't have the Shadow Word Death. We didn't assume that we were going to draw the exact card we needed, even though we did have Entomb to back up, so it wasn't a top deck for sense. We would have saved the Soul Priest. Flash Heal passive is 7, and we had the coin. So on 6, we would have played the Soul Priest for 4, Flash Healed, coin, passive, and killed the 7/7. So, I mean, we also had the backup plan there. If we didn't have the Entomb in my hand, I would have never played the Soul Priest. So you just gotta like figure out who you're going against, what they're gonna play, and then like different plans for each route of action. And that just comes with playing the deck. And again, this is a very, so there's the Lightning Storm. I'm assuming it's gonna kill the Shade no matter what. It hits us for 4. That's not that great. Got a Totemic, which is pretty fair. Because he just used, well, what do we have here? We actually want to give this health, because I don't mind keeping that alive. We also have 6 mana, so we can play the Totemic. Well, we can, It's Elise passive, or it's Totemic, Curator, and Curator. I like the Totemic, because it has the chance to give me a pretty solid creature, right? We also could have used our passive to kill one of those totems, but I don't really care that much. I actually like the spawn in N'Zoth here, right? Because we have a lot of creatures on board, and he's already used 1 Lightning Storm, so I really don't mind that. We're going to kill the Spellpire totem, as the healing totem really doesn't bother me that much. So if we really wanted to, like next turn, we could go ahead and play like the Alchemist, kill something. No, I was thinking we can Alchemist and N'Zoth and kill our own N'Zoth with a passive, because we can actually play N'Zoth, passive our own N'Zoth, and give everything +1/+1. So that would be 8, and this is 7, so we're 1 off. We can't even play Elise, so we'd have to play a 3-drop if we wanted to use our passive onto the own N'Zoth. Sorry guys, it's really early in the morning. Doing my best. Doomhammer. We actually do run Harrison in this deck, so him playing Doomhammer really isn't that bad. Double Entomb really doesn't help us out a ton here. I'm almost liking Burn His Face for the most part with the Dark Alchemist to hit his face for 5, use his passive, hit his face for 5. Well, use passive, kill the totem, and then swing face with everything else. Or we could save the Alchemist, because we know he's going to want to kill the Soul Priest and actually heal ourselves up and play a little bit more tempo-oriented. So I think that's actually pretty good. I like the spawn in N'Zoth. We're going to swing into this. We're going to swing face for 1. As we didn't really do a ton of damage to him, again, we're playing Priest. It's a very control-based deck. We have so much in our hand. We can get rid of pretty much any 3-drop or less he plays, which would be a Totem Golem. We can entomb 2 different cards, which is pretty crazy, and then the Alchemist is a huge heal, and he's already played 1 Lightning Storm, so essentially he has no more field clear. So he's going to Hex a 3-5, which feels pretty bad, and he'll probably swing into the 0-1 and the 1-2. So he's using his Doomhammer to clear instead of to deal damage. Feels good, man. So we can actually Alchemist his face, swing, or we would swing passive this first, and then swing with this for 4 more damage. Or we just keep the N'Zoth alive. It all depends. I think we keep him alive, though.
Just a pinch of it.
We're at 24 health. I'm not really worried about getting bursted down. I think we could burst him faster. Or we just Sylvanas here and play it a little safer.
I have no time for games.
It's a little safer. His 5 damage doesn't really make a significant difference right now, but 5 healing later on in the game could be a make or break, because he can always double Rockbiter, and then that'll be a problem. That was his last Hex. And now I'm assuming he's going to attack the N'Zoth. He's thinking, do I go face, or do I hit the N'Zoth? You should probably hit the N'Zoth, right? Or you could play a card. But he can still attack. Okay, Mana Tide Totem. That's not going to draw you much. We can also Shadow Word Pain this, but I really don't care. Primal Might or whatever, so it's going to make it, what, yeah, 2-5. It still dies to Shadow Word Pain, which is what we're going to use on it now. Before I would have just swung our 3-drop into it to kill it, but in this situation, it's just better to Shadow Word Pain it. He's already used a card on it, so it's a 1-for-1, but it always draws him a card, so either way, it's fine. We also could Alchemist it and save the pain. We have double Alchemist, though. Is that lethal? That's 14. No. I think this is fair. The reason we didn't hit this for 5, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. I think we're in a pretty safe position, to be honest. In most matchups, this is how it goes. Like the matchup against, my favorite matchups with this deck are probably Zoo, Shaman, Paladin, and Warrior, which is most decks what they really don't like going against, which is, 75% of the ladder. I mean, you'll see the occasional Hunter, the occasional Druid, the occasional, actually Rogue's pretty popular. This deck does not perform very well against Rogue. We also should have kept this guy in mind. Thunder Bluff Valiant dies to the Shadow Word Pain. That's pretty interesting. Wow. Well, this guy, we might see a comeback. We have no direct damage unless we draw like a Soul Priest or something. That's super funny. Like, we have no ability to deal 1 damage with this deck at all. Alright, so we're gonna heal ourselves. I guess we can give this guy... Okay, so we drew all of our healing shit, but we didn't necessarily draw our Soul Priest. If we drew our Soul Priest, then we could have just Soul Priest flash shield his face. It's gonna be pretty difficult for him to get past this 4-7 without, like, a Rockbiter or Alakir. Another Thunder Bluff Valiant does it as well. No, that does it too. Oh, man. Oh, this Shaman. This Shaman, man. It's good stuff. So Lightning Bolt, swing his 5-1 into it. There you go, and now you can attack with your Tonto. You have a long way to go, homie. I'll get a card that'll kill you eventually, man. That's pretty good. Eventually, your 1 HP will not be able to hold out. To hold on to what we've got. I'm at 1 HP, if you like it or not. Any comments in the chat, boys? Alright. This comment, great video, guys. I would have to disagree with Deathwing, though. The thing is, with Dragon decks, they normally have bigger creatures, and the turns previously will suck up all the opponent's removal, so I found that playing it in Dragon Priest just works on the one condition that you put in a lot of dragons. That's just my opinion. That's solid. The thing is, though, like, I'm assuming you're saying Dragon Priest with the new Deathwing card. So if you put it, like you mentioned, if you fill your deck with a bunch of dragon creatures, you're giving up the aspects of Priest, like Flash Heal, Circle of Healing, Alkanized Soul Priest, and Tomb. Things like this. Oh, wow. Look at him making this. Like, Excavated Evil is really nice right now. I mean, there's 13 cards left, and I run 2 of them. We have to draw something here. Oh, that's pretty good. So, like, what do we take? Do we take the Mana Tide or the Flame Tongue? If we take the Flame Tongue, he's got no ability to do anything. Like, he literally has 1 damage on the board.
Let me change.
If we don't take the Mana Tide, he draws a bunch of cards. But if we take this, now he has 1 damage on the board. I really don't care if he draws an extra card here or there. It doesn't... I mean, don't get me wrong, Mana Tide's a great card. But I would rather stop him from killing off my creatures than him being able to draw an extra card. Because if he plays something big we don't like... Oh, shit. Okay, that's a card. This he's getting kind of lucky here. I mean, there's a ton of cards in our deck that, you know, effectively deal with the board pretty well. Excavated Evil, Alkanized Soul Priest. It's pretty... So he can attack with this, this, and this. That's 6. This kills that. He has to keep some sort of creature alive. This has to hit. That was probably the best hit for him, because now he can swing these 2 totems into this, and then these 2 into the Flame Tongue. And then he wins next turn. If we lose this to this shit, I'm going to actually be a little upset. Because that Flame Juggler ping was pretty outstanding. Like, that needed to hit this card right here. Like, hitting the Flame Tongue totem didn't matter whatsoever. But hitting my 6/4 means he can swing 2 totems into it, which didn't really change anything whatsoever. Yo, stop being retarded. Like, the fact that you're taking a long time to use this play, oh my god. Oh my god. You just lost the game. People, man. Like, I was gonna lose to this fucking guy. Like, seriously? Like, how... You know I've got Shadow Ward Pains in my deck. All you needed to do was clear the board and you would have won. Like, the fact, like... Oh, God. It's disgusting how broke back Shaman is. Alright, anyway, the dragon thing. So you're filling up your decks with dragons and stuff, right? And you're losing out on a lot of priest stuff. But not only that, okay, so you play your dragons. Most of the time, they're not the best sort of dragons. Like, what examples do I have here? Because I have to back this up with examples. The main point is, I don't think the Deathwing card is good. Because you play, okay, you play a 10-drop 12-12. You play nothing else that entire turn. You summon this 12-12. He doesn't impact the field at all, right? Like, you just play him. In this matchup, I'm going to assume he's going to be playing this fucking Druid's going to be playing this broke-back Druid deck because of what we saw earlier. So we're going to keep this Soul Priest and look for a Circle of Healing. So you've effectively played 12-12, nothing else. Then your opponent goes ahead and let's say they're playing Shaman or Mage, which is really popular right now. It just gets polymorphed because if they know you're playing Dragon Priest, they know you're going to be playing the Deathwing card because you think you're a hipster. And you think you're the new, you know, I can play this card and it's going to work. And they're just going to polymorph it. They're going to hex it. It's going to cost 3 or 4 mana for them. Your card's officially going to do nothing because it won't even get its death rattle. You spent your entire turn developing in this, and then they have 7 more mana to do whatever the hell they want. So it's just like, it's an investment if you're going to go ahead and play the Deathwing card. So yeah, some like 1 out of 10 games, sure, it could work out to your favor where the Deathwing dies and you get 2 or 3 dragons from your hand. But it just seems like in the long run, if you're trying to play a competitive deck, playing a 10-drop that doesn't necessarily do anything when he comes out is bad. The reason N'Zoth and Cthulhu are different is because when you play N'Zoth or Cthulhu,
They immediately deal with the board.
They immediately, if you play with N'Zoth, he builds up your boards for every death rattle that's died, and some of those have taunt, some of those have death rattles that bring out even more cards, so if they do deal with the board, you still have stuff remaining. Cthulhu does a huge amount of damage extremely quickly.
Your charge even puts the card immediately onto your field.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that, you know, there's certain 10 drops you can play and certain ones that you just won't find in competitive play. Not to say the card isn't fun, not to say the card won't do you well sometimes, but for the most part, the card will not be your savior that you're looking for. Dude, why do every time I play against a druid, they have like some fucking retarded start? This guy's start was coin, innervate, 4-drop into a wild growth. My start is passive. My start is, and it's the 4-drop, like this is one of the worst cards that we can deal with as a priest, because it has 4 HP. So we can't Shadow Word Paint it, we can't Shadow Word Death it, we can't use our weapon to kill it. Like there's very minimal things we can do to get rid of this card. So we're actually going to give him one more turn, he's going to play something more, and then we're going to go ahead and Flash Heal Circle of Healing. The reason I didn't do it now is because we can't kill with the 4-2. We want him to use his passive on 6, so he only can summon a 4-drop. You'll see what I'm doing. Oh, fuck. He's getting mana with this. Oh, he's going with the draw. Fuck, that makes our... Oh, okay, so we're just gonna... Oh, what can we play? What can we play? What can we play? I was hoping for a decent card that we could have played, but we're... Oh, man, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad news, Bears. Oh god, and that's a huge now. And it's of course 4 attack. I would have to say this is probably alright, so Druid now we've learned is one of the weakest, one of the weaker we're weak to this this class. So he has 10 damage. So if we Sylvanas, he swipes our face and we lose. Yeah. Circle of Healing Flash Heal doesn't even kill that. Entombing this feels fucking horrible, because we know he's got bigger shit in his deck. I really don't feel like dealing with this shit right now, so we're going to play Sylvanas, and if he has Swipe, he wins. I don't care. I just want to play a different game. I'll lose to this scrub. Okay. And you can't beat Brokeback like that. Brokeback's too good. Please don't tell me, okay. So you're just being a douchebag. We could have held off the game with entombing the 410, but we're not winning this in the long run. There's no way. There's no point to continue on with that. Again, you can't beat Druids with start like that. We're not that good. Skillstone. Any more comments in the chat? Do you know a deck called Helidin? If you don't, please look it up and see if you do deck guide on it. Haven't heard of it. I will take a look. Ladder is a goddamn Shaman Gauntlet this season. Enough. Oh my god, it's the same fucking guy. Alright. We're keeping these. We're getting rid of this. Now we're gonna fuck this kid up, assuming he doesn't have some fucking super amazing start like last game. Yes. It seems like Ladder is becoming less and less of Shaman and more of like Rogue and Druid is what it seems like. We faced how many Druid? This is our 3rd Druid this morning, and we played against 1 Shaman, I think, right? If I can remember. But I mean, granted that this is the 3rd Druid, but the 2nd of the same guy. But either way, it's still, you know, I'd rather not go against Druid. Rips the Wild Growth on 2, so he's obviously pretty good. That's pretty good for us. Normally we don't draw these guys until really late in the game. Ouch, this is a hard one. We already have 1 shade, so I think Sylvanas is fine. So like, let's say we didn't have the shade in our hand, maybe getting the other shade out of it's okay, but I think this is fine in the long run. So like, oh man, we have 2 4s, so we're going to go ahead and coin out Elise. We're not going to coin out the Shifting Shade because it dies to a passive in this 2-1. But we're going to play the Elise because it kills this 2-1 and it doesn't die. So, and also I wouldn't have coined if I didn't have another 4-drop to play after this. Fuck this card. I hate that card. I really do dislike that card a lot. So we could actually swing, heal it. Like, So if we swing, heal, he swings, passive, kill. This has 2. If we play the Shade, he swings into this. This still lives. Then we can Soul Priest Flash Shield. That lives. We have 2 Flash Shields. I think this is okay. This card is so good against Priest, though. Like, let me tell you. I mean, you saw last game. It just shitted on us. Such a good card. Like, against Warrior, this card is horrible. Because you can just, like, there's so many Whirlwind effects that deal 1 damage to the field that Divine Favor or Divine Shield really isn't that crazy against a Warrior. But against, like, Hunters, I guess Hunter's not even that bad because you have Unleash the Hounds. But for the most part, this is an ouchie ouchie boo boo. If he kills the 3/3, Jesus, you're so bad. The reason you didn't want to kill the 6/3 is because I mean the 3/3, why would you, I don't get it. So we can Soul Priest, Flash, heal this, swing? That doesn't feel good. I mean, essentially we could clear the board with Soul Priest, swing, clear. What do we want? What do we want? The problem is if we Soul Priest and we Flash Shield this. Let's see what we get. Okay. The reason I didn't do anything here is because I know he's going to play another card. Hopefully it's not Nourish, but we'll see. Maybe Doctor whatever. Doctor 7. Twin Veklar. Fuck, man. He's not Nourish. Fuck me. Why you got it? I guess we could play Sylvanas. That's okay. What would he have to combat Sylvanas? A mulch? He wouldn't mulch that. He'd have to swing, swing. Oh, that's good. Like, we would Soul Priest, Circle of Healing, Power Word, shield it. But then he wraths it down. That's the problem.
I have no time for games.
We'll try the Sylvanas play again. Last game it didn't work out well. We'll see how it works out this game. Wondering what deck to play at rank 12. Any thoughts? I mean, basically anything, to be honest. Is he just going face? What the fuck? Does he have lethal? Probably. No? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Are you my master?
Okay, Tony's not in here. Yeah, no problem. Alright, so we're about to punish this guy pretty hard. I see Excavated Evil, kill, kill, kill. That takes off Divine Shield, puts to 2. Oh man, this guy is a true professional.
Let none survive.
Can Power Word shield this guy up so he doesn't die, but I think healing ourselves is pretty important too. Next turn's 8, we're at 10. He can Cthulhu, so I think healing ourselves is pretty important. Granted, if we would have healed this, it's out of... Oh, he'd have to Wrath. Well, now he can Wrath for 1 and swing into it, but I mean, his Cthulhu's what, an 11-11 right now? No, no, no. It's 13-13, so we need to heal up as much as possible. I love when people fill the field because, oh, he's a priest and he has 8 cards in hand. He has nothing to do. Yeah, bro. Alright, so there's the Wraith, draw 1, swing with passive. So again, if we would have Power Word shielded it, he would have had to hit for 3, which means he wouldn't have been able to cycle. But then we wouldn't have been able to heal. It's one of the trade-offs we had to figure out. I mean, we just assumed that healing was better there. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're going to heal ourselves. Soul Priest, Circle of Healing, shield this. And now he can play Cthulhu, and then we entomb it. And then we're at fucking like 2 HP, and then he charges out Druid of the Claw and we lose. But we have double flash heal, so I guess that's okay. So hold on to our little HP. Nat Pagel, top 10 worst legendaries? No, that guy's really not that bad. What can Black Knight be replaced with? I don't know what deck you're... Road to Legend episode 22 in April? I don't even know what I have no idea. Oh, wow, did we just lose? That's 3 and we had, what, 15? Yeah, we lose. That's exact lethal. Good job. Sick plays, bro. Sick plays. Oh, I honestly, this isn't a good... This deck testing, we've only won 1 so far, but you can see that the deck really, like, saying... Oh, fuck it, I don't even want to... I know the deck works. I don't have to convince you guys. We've been getting unlucky. We've gone against 3 druids. We've assumed that we made the assumption that it doesn't do well against druids. We played against 1 shaman and we absolutely shitted on him. So, if we can play against... I wish I could play against a warrior for you guys. I wish I could play against another, you know, zoo. Well, it's no more druids. No more druids. Another fucking druid. Okay. Have mercy. What is up with druids today? Is it just the time? I always seem to have really bad, really like shitty luck really early in the morning when I play. Like when I play at my house and not at the office, we do fantastic. Like when I was playing over this weekend, I went from like rank 9 to like 5. And then I come in the office and I started at 5 today and we're back to 6. And I've been to 4 this season, but again, I was playing at my house when that happened. When I play in the office, I just do so bad. Ooh, this comment. I read it a couple days ago and didn't respond to it because it's so ignorant. But I think I'm going to respond to it now. What the fuck is this? Why does everybody we go against have the nuts, man? Innervate, coin auctioneer. Alright, we're done playing after this. This is the last, the last one here, guys. Sorry, but it's just, that's the way it's got to be. We're done playing Hearthstone for this morning. Now, when this shit happens, and then into the wild growth. I would like to see comments in the chat. Are druids this lucky against you guys, or is it just me, man? It has to be just me. There's no fucking way I play against 3 druids, and they started... Both games, they had the nuts. All 3 games, they had the nuts. All the nuts. They left no nuts for anybody else. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe druid's the new best deck ever. Did he just get that out of Raven? I'm just gonna laugh, guys. I'm just gonna laugh. Oh my god. Like, theoretically, we sold, like... Oh my god. Do we... We soul priest Circle of Healing, we automatically lose. So we have to do this. Because it puts it down to 1 HP and our field clear is gone. So... I can't... Oh my god. I can't help but laugh, guys. Let's just watch Warshack as he gets shit on by druids all day. Oh man, this is good. This is good. This is good. I like this.
Just a pinch of it.
This is great. If I beat this guy, oh man, this guy. If I beat this guy, we're gonna be in. We're gonna feel pretty good. Keep up the great video, guys. Yeah, of course, no problem. Warshack, make a video in arena mode. That's what our entire free-to-play series is for. And then also we have a new series called Tony's Trials. And it's going to be good. Gets Emperor, 6 cards in hand. Soul Priest, Flash Heal. How often do you play Hearthstone? Just curious. Depends. Mostly I try to play every day. For at least maybe an hour. Max I play in a day is probably 2 hours. But I mean, there's some times that I won't play for, you know, up to 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. It all depends on like how I'm doing and if I feel like playing or not. Like right now, I probably am not going to play for the rest of the day. We've played for what, 40 minutes? Do 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 do. That's just the way it is. We're getting shitted on. We are. Oh, this takes 9 mana. That's not okay. This does contest that though.
Just a pinch of vigor.
Or do we just heal and then we just Alchemy Circle next turn? It's either play the Alchemist, contest the Drake, heal ourselves, or we just heal because we're at full. I think like this. Hopefully this rank 7 overextends. Alright. We're almost to the ridiculously ignorant comment. Oh yeah, sure. This is good. Fantastic. Good plays. Do-do-do. 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 That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Alright, I'm gonna read this comment. Hearthstone is incredibly, ridiculously set up to make money for busy. I played for the first today to got like 18 or something in ranked. Did pretty well in most matches, beating people with decks that IR. I'm assuming IR crap, but silly had 6 minions. I promise you this is actually what it says. But it's silly I had 6 minions out versus the other player and he had 1 minion. He pulls out card that reduces all players on board to 1 HP, or 1 health, and then does AoE that wipes all 6 of my minions, and I was up health-wise on heroes like 17-8. Of course I lost. It's ridiculous how much work you have to do to get cards like is why I don't like progression. Typo in the games I can jump into Overwatch and beat people, but in Hearthstone on my first day, I outplay tons of players and I still lose most games, which of course makes you just want to buy decks or stupid shit like solo things to get more cards is a piss poor system, IMO. Straight up, man, I agree. I'll get to that in a second. That's gonna take some time. Well, we obviously know this has to die. We got swipe. This is 1 HP. What the fuck is this? Oh. That was a mistake. I should have alchemist myself. That was a mistake. I was too busy thinking of how I'm going to respond back to this comment that we've received. But yeah, that was a mistake. I should have played the 4-5. I should have played the 4-5. Should have played the 4-5. Holy shit!
I bring life.
That's insane! Alright. I skillfully knew that this guy would not...
Just a pinch of it.
I knew that he was going to play Alexstrasza. So that's why we saved the Alchemist. I knew. Alright, so.
I got the best deals anywhere.
Let's gotta sit up for this comment here. Give it a little stretch in here. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna play this game first, and then we're gonna respond back to whatever the fuck we just read.
Let me change your mind.
I actually really don't like this saying spell damage +2. I could care less if that died. Couldn't care less if it died. We're gonna heal ourselves. I don't care if he kills the 2-1. I don't have anything in my deck that does gets benefit off +2 spell damage, but this guy sure does. Alright, so you're blaming a multi-million-dollar company for making a game, or multiple games, that the basis is to make a profit. So you're getting mad about that. Okay. You got mad at Hearthstone because you had 6 minions on the field. And he played a combination of cards that killed them. And you blame that on him paying money onto the game to play those particular cards. I happen to know which card you're talking about. It's Equality Consecration. Consecration is a classic paladin card. That doesn't help us. This kills that though. He'll run out of cards eventually, right? He's at 2 to our 16, so he has effectively drawn 15 more cards than us, and we're still in this, boys. Depending on what, of course, he has. So the Consecration is I'm pretty sure it's a common, if not a basic. I'm almost 100% sure it's a basic Paladin card, which costs nothing. And then Equality, I believe, is a rare, which is the second easiest thing to get besides a common. So you're blaming the game and its pay-to-win structure on your lacking of knowledge within a game because you lost. Okay, I like that. Did we just lose? That's cute. All right, so we're gonna stop. We're not playing Priest anymore today, guys. This deck testing, in my mind, was supposed to go a lot better, but when you've got shit like this going on, it's not the best. It's not the best. You can't beat that. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how good of a player I think I am or I am. You can't beat the nuts. The nuts beat us. All right. So hopefully you've enjoyed. You've seen a little bit of my luck. Most of the time, like, for the deck testing videos are new. For those of you who are new to the end. So these like kind of videos going over the current decks I have and how I'm playing them and like renditions we make is a new series. Normally we only show Road to Legend and only when I progress to the next rank. You don't see everything in between. So now you're seeing everything in between, and that's just a little insight into like some of my days go. I mean, we played against 1 Shaman and 4 Druids. Fuck me, right? And it's not even like 4 Druids and some of them had like, you know, a fair hand or like about as the same hand as us. Like they vastly had a much better hand, and like every game Wild Growth, every game Innervate. I mean, you looked at the last game, man. Innervate, Coin, Auctioneer into like a variety of spells, and the closest thing we had is like a 4-drop. Anyway, guys, I'm not mad though. Not salty whatsoever. We're having fun, right? I'm just kidding. Anyway, of course, guys, always glad to hear what you have to say. Look forward to reading the comments. As always, I'm Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.